Welcome back to the channel, boys and girls, cats and dogs, and coffee lovers everywhere. Andrew, we have a coffee that's new. It's not technically new to us. We've had it, I think, like 4 years ago. We brought it back, but this is the Sumatra Kerinci. Welcome back. Andrew, what fun things would you like to tell us about this coffee that the world needs to know?
The main thing is Sumatra is a very interesting region that was kind of iconic in coffee. It's just like in Indonesia, it has like its very own unique kind of flavor profiles you get out of these coffees. Different umami kind of flavors come out of this kind of stuff, like almost vegetal and things like that. And part of the reasoning is because of the processing methods. And so you'll see on this bag is a dry hold process, which I admit I had to do some digging. Like dry hold, I'm not familiar with. I've heard of wet hold. I've heard of it's a very common practice, but dry hold is it's a processing method they use in Indonesia. It's very similar, as weird as it sounds. It's very similar to a wash process coffee. Essentially, from just my understanding, is that Indonesia is a very humid climate, and so one of the things that in Indonesia, to dry out the coffee faster, what they do is this hulling process where they remove the exterior of the coffee. That's kind of a protective layer. It protects against kind of mold and fungus and things like that. So it can dry out faster in a humid climate. And so in Indonesia, you'll see these hold process coffees often because it's almost out of a necessity. They want to dry out that coffee fast, and there's a little bit of a risk to it. But in this case, in a dry hold, they pulp the coffee, they get the coffee beans out, and they let it sit out and dry out for a little bit, about 2 days or so to kind of dry out to the percentage. I think it's about 11% that they need to export it. So that's a really long explanation, but that is dry hold coffee.
Much needed, yeah.
Yes, you're welcome. But it yields like really different flavors. And this one you'll notice, like, you see strawberry oftentimes and malty sometimes in coffee, but one of the weird ones, or odd, it's not weird, I guess, it's just unique. There you go. I'll say it's a unique coffee. It has just a black pepper kind of spice almost to it as you drink it. As we're drinking this coffee, I'd say one of the things that as we're like that we were getting was this kind of like weird thing in the back. Like after you kind of take your first sip, you might get a little acidity, kind of that jammy kind of mouthfeel. But then in the back of your throat, there's just something that hits and you're like, what is that? And that's where we kind of we sniff some spices, as weird as that sounds, but we sniff some spices to kind of get acclimated to what like spices smell like, and we kind of narrowed it down to black pepper was kind of like the peppercorn kind of situation. And then as you kind of breathe it back up, though, you get that strawberry really comes through, the aromatics of the strawberry. Tell us, I know that that's a lot about the actual coffee, the processing, the flavor profile that you're going to get out of it, but there's a unique story that comes with this coffee.
This is a coffee that's actually going to be benefiting the farmer. So $3 from every sale of this coffee is going to be going to the farmer who had a medical incident happen. So we have like a little story, like QR code with each bag. We're sending a small 4-ounce bag of this coffee with all of our monthly subscription coffee. So all of our monthly coffee subscription members will get that, which is pretty sick. And then this is also only going to be in a 12-ounce bag on our shelves. It's a super, super limited release. I think it's a really good coffee. I think if you're somebody who likes to make cold brew at home, this would make a really good cold brew. Indonesian coffees are a really good blender coffee for cold brew. So I think this, even just as a single origin cold brew, would be pretty solid. Really good as like a pour over. We've tried it on drip in a coffee pot. We've really liked it. It's a really fun coffee. It's going to be around for a very short time. So, highly encourage you, if you're somebody who wants something that's a little adventurous and different out there,
Get ye a Kerinci.
and with that, I am signing out. Good morrow.